Hi, YouTube family and podcast family. I am here today. Was it February 28th? 20, what year are we? 2019. Okay, wow. So today I want to talk about a couple of subjects, but one in particular, I put it in the title of this live stream. I'm going to give people a few minutes. See you soon. But in the meantime, oh, here we go. We got somebody coming on. I'm sorry, who is this? Gamer Christina. Hi. Good to see you. I've seen your comments in some of my videos, and I appreciate your encouragement, your hearts and thumbs up. I appreciate it. um, so today we're going to talk about what to do if you run into your ex. Uh, Oh, what to do, what to do. I think I'm going to give you guys a few more minutes to get on. And in the meantime, the reason I want to talk about that is because I've gotten a few comments about people who've run into this. And I've also seen comments where people, I kind of think, did the wrong thing. So I want to kind of avoid that. I want to help us avoid doing the wrong thing. I don't want to make the situation worse. I don't want you guys to fall back into your emotional spin. And we want to be able to be ourselves, no matter what situation we're in, including when we're thrown into, a situation where you have to be around somebody, excuse me, who's hurt you a lot. A lot of times when that happens, we lose ourselves. We forget all the progress we've made, and we're no longer strong, or we forget who we are, and we're thrown back. Especially when if you've been raised by a narcissist, and you go back home for a holiday or something, right? For a vacation or whatever, to visit family for a family gathering. And when you get home, you start to think, holy cow, I'm this accomplished person. I live on my own. I have so much going for me. And yet when I go back home, why the heck do I like a 4-year-old again? So not only when you run into your ex, okay, I think running into your ex is a lot the same, has a lot of the same effects, because suddenly you're like, what? Why am I thrown back into this? I feel like crawling into a shell. I feel like this person's still abusing me. I feel like, things that this person has told me about myself is true. You just fall back into all these lies about yourself. So, Gamer Christina here says, yes, I love that topic. I just recently got bangs and I love them so much. And I want to try to break no contact just to show off my new look and make him miss me. But I know that is a bad idea. Yes, that is a really bad idea. Don't do that, because it's going to throw you back. You think, oh, I know who I am. I'm feeling strong. I'm feeling good. I feel, I look good. And I know that I'm doing so much better than the ex. So you're thinking you can handle it, right? Oh, I can handle this. I can show off, and I can walk past and strut my strut, and they're going to miss me, and they're going to regret letting me go. But what ends up happening a lot of the times is you get thrown back. I mean, think about, many people who have narcissistic exes have also been raised by narcissists. And it kind of goes together sometimes, because you get so used to being treated this way that you actually kind of find it familiar, and you stick around with people like this. So when you think you're going back home, you prepare yourself. I know I can stand my ground. I can handle my parent or whoever, my sibling, my aunt, my grandparent, whoever it is, right? And you go back, and what ends up happening is you have either one, you turn back into that 4-year-old or 10-year-old, or two, you explode and there's a huge fight and everybody goes kind of nuts, right? So yeah, you don't want to do that. So you guys, we we want to talk about, even when you're feeling good, and you're looking good and you're preparing yourself just in case you do run into your ex in town. And then it actually happens. And you're like, I want to give you a tip. If the first thing you're feeling is anxiety, or you're feeling like, oh crap, and dread, right? An incredible dread. So if you're right away already feeling that, your body is telling you you're not ready. Your body is telling you emotionally you are not ready to handle this. And it's telling you, it's kind of giving you this run, is it flight or fight, instinct? It's telling you to run, get away, get out of there. And that's what I would recommend. Get the heck out of there. If you run into your ex and your body is, starting to shake, or your heart's starting to pump faster, and you're feeling all this anxiety start to well up in you, your body's telling you, get out of here. You emotionally, you are not safe here. So some people have said, approach them, talk to them. And I have said at times too, if you're ready for this, just act like, oh, they're a stranger. I mean, if you cannot avoid them and they're standing right in front of you, just say hi, and then you can walk away. Or, even if you can't say hi, don't worry about it. Don't feel like you have to. Just walk away. And if you feel bad because, oh my gosh, I just created a scene, I behaved in a way that's so uncomfortable or weird, that's okay. Who cares? And it's only for a moment, and most people won't even have seen it. Just the ex. The ex will have seen it, but hopefully they'll leave you alone and realize like, oh, she doesn't want to talk to me, or he doesn't want to talk to me. Okay. And then they, do their own thing. And to them, of course, it may feel like rejection, but you're not here to fix them. You're not here to make them feel comfortable. You're not here to make sure that they're taken care of. You got to take care of where you are emotionally. And so when you get together with your friends or whatever, you might even be at a gathering, a social gathering, at a party, at a dinner party at someone's house, and your ex shows up, and you're in this confined situation. There's still a way for you to move on a little bit. There's still a way for you to back off a little bit, not look at them. They can talk all they want, and they can even act like they're the life of the party because they're trying to show off, in front of you, like, hey, I'm totally over you. So look at me. I'm, this is how over you I am, and I've moved on. And they may have even brought their date. Oh my gosh, right? And they may be extra affectionate with their date right in front of you. You know what? Don't look. You can be at a dinner party and never even glance at them. It's possible. You can talk to the person right next to you. You can excuse yourself and go to the bathroom when they are getting close. You can move to another conversation. You can go into another room because usually, social gatherings, people are scattered around the house. So there are a lot of things that you can do. And don't feel bad. It's okay. It's okay if you are not at the point where you can behave or act as if everything's all right. And if your heart's still pounding, get yourself into a situation where you feel comfortable. And if that situation is I walk away and I stand in a different area and I talk to people who make me feel comfortable, then do that. And then, unfortunately, if you don't feel comfortable staying for the whole night, just say, oh, I've got to cut this short. I can only stay for a little bit. And thank you. I really, to the host, and leave. And it's okay to do that. So you guys, today we're talking about, if you're just joining us, we're talking about what to do if you run into your ex. Now, we also want to talk about your happies and your crappies. I've been waiting for you guys to get on. I want to hear this week what happy you've had, what happy experiences, and what crappy experiences. And for those of you who are new to my Happy Crappy Hour, the reason we do that is because we want to remember the good things that happened during the week, right? Because that gives us fuel and we can build on that. Not only that, we can also see if things went well when we did something or we were in a certain activity or environment, then we want to repeat. We want to continue to do the things that build us up. And then the crappies, the reason we want to look at the crappies is because, well, things didn't work out, you did something and it was disastrous, or, you got yourself into a situation or a routine that made you feel worse about yourself, or kind of depleted you or deflated. Well, then we want to stop doing that. So that's why we look back at our happies and crappies. So, okay, so you guys, I'm hoping that you'll get on here and give me some of your ideas also about what to do, or what did you do when you ran into your ex and how did you feel. I also want to tell you, I started a happy crappy journal, and I would recommend that you do that. Unfortunately, I'm looking around, I'm like, oh no, where did I put it? I think I took it to my room, so my bedroom, so that's where it is. But I started writing in there my happy and crappies for the week. And for me, it's been better than a gratitude journal, because I'm not a gratitude journal kind of person. I guess if I got into it, I could really do it, but it's so much easier. I want to learn, that's the thing for me. I want to learn from my week. I want to learn from, and not just, it's great to appreciate the things that happen in your life. And I'm all for that. I'm all for gratitude. And I know it changes your mindset so that you see beautiful and wonderful things around you and blessings more and more, because you focus on things that you're grateful for. But for me, I kind of am inspired more and motivated more to write things down that teach me a lesson. So on top of my happies, which would be your things that you can be grateful for, right? I like to write down my crappies. What did I do this week that, I can face the truth about myself and realize, well, I don't want to do that anymore, and I don't want to sabotage myself anymore. So that's the reason for my happy crappy journal. You guys, so here's another thing. I wanted to talk to you about, so what do you do when you run into your ex? We can talk about other topics too, you guys, if you want to talk about that. But one of the things I heard someone did at a social gathering, they ran into their ex, and they said they outshined their ex at the party. They became, not the ex, narcissist, right? But the victim, the supply, who was discarded. They became the star of the party. Well, I'm thinking that might not be the best thing to do, just because this person was drawing attention to herself and making sure that the ex notices her. And let me tell you guys, if you have had a narcissistic ex, and this is a person who is a narcissist, they're so toxic. You don't want them to notice you. You don't want them to come to you and start up a conversation because you're being so raucous. You're making such a ruckus and you're being so loud or boisterous that they can't help but notice you. So they might come over to you, or you might act like you're having so much fun in your corner of the party that they feel compelled to come join you. And what that might end up doing is, two things. One, they may start to want to hoover you back. They might start thinking, oh, well, maybe I do want to get back with her, or him. Oh, hi, Kathy. Good morning to you. Thank you for, the topic, right? I want to prepare us for this if it happens. And by the way, no amount of preparation can foretell what you're actually going to do. We can only hope, right? We can only get to that part. The preparation, though, will help us heal. The preparation will help us get to the point where, when it does happen, we might surprise ourselves and find like, wow, we're not emotionally connected to this person anymore, and I'm really in who I am. I want to talk to you guys about getting to there as well. But I want to continue talking about, so this person who commented said that they were the star of the party at this social gathering where their ex had shown up. So the reason I think that's not a great idea is because your ex might start wanting to hoover you back in, because they're like, wow, again, and you're exactly the way that, attracted me to you in the first place, so now I want you back. Now, you might do two things. They might do two things. That, or they might just say, they might actually look at you and say, what a jerk, and then move on. which is fine, which is actually better. But most likely they'll stare at you. They may even be drawn to come closer to you. They may be drawn to engage you in a conversation, which you don't want to have with them. Honestly, you don't. So here's the second thing. You might respond to their hoovering. You might not be emotionally disconnected as much as you might think. And you might start to think, well, gosh, they're interested in me. They're still attracted to me. They still want me. And when they send you a text after the party, or when they might show up at your work after the party, or when they might invite you out to lunch, you might not be strong enough to resist. You might fall back into it. So that's the reason why you don't want to draw attention to yourself, trying to outshine the narcissist ex at the party. Another thing that you might do, though, which also is bad, is you might try to hoover, get them to want to hoover you so that you could crush them, right? So that you can reject them and hurt them. And when they try to hoover you back in and invite you out to lunch or whatever, you just dish it out to them and tell, whatever, that's bad, because that makes you a person that's just as bad as they were, out to hurt people. And so you don't want to set a trap the way they've set traps. You don't want to be that kind of person. So that's the reason why it's not really, if it's not in you to be the life of the party and you're not normally the person who's boisterous and laughing like crazy, don't behave that way just because your narcissistic ex is at the party. So I just wanted to tell you guys that. Hi, Crystal. Good to see you. So Crystal Jean just got on. Gamer Christina says, about my crappy. I hate being around other people because I fear they all might be manipulative, and so I try and keep to myself. At work, my personal break room has been taken over and I do not like it. Aw. Yeah, there's a time where we do need to pull into ourselves and recuperate and heal. And your instinct is to protect yourself, right? Not to fall into another manipulative relationship. But I'm hoping that you will get to the point, little by little, you'll get to the point where you're going to be able to interact more with one person and then possibly two. And some people, I'm not really great with large crowds. I don't like huge crowds of people, or even like 4, 5, 6 people. It gets to be too much. I really enjoy the one-on-ones. Some people are just better with that, and that's okay too. If your break room has, Gamer Christina was saying her break room has been taken over. Yeah, it's a public place, so you may just have to find another place, or bring a book, or get earbuds and put those on so that you don't have to hear what's going on over there. And people can see when someone wants to spend alone time, and they'll, hopefully they may be polite and try to introduce themselves or invite you to join them. Or they might just say, oh, she's got her earbuds on, or she's got her face in her phone, or her face in a book. So she or he doesn't want to interact, so we'll give them their personal space. People understand breaks at work, especially. Sometimes you just need to recharge and get away and just spend some alone time, and that's fine. Rahel, hey, long time no see. Good to see you. So Crystal Jean says, it's such a dichotomy. You want them to see us looking good and doing well without them, but also don't want to draw them in either. Yes, it is a dichotomy. And the point of looking good and doing well without them, you want, that's take care of yourself, so that in case you do run into them, in case they do see you across the grocery aisles or whatever, right? They see you're doing okay, and that you're doing great without them, actually, right? The reason for that is not so much for them as it is for you, where you feel good about yourself. You won't feel bad if you are, looking your absolute worst, and you run into them and they see you at your absolute worst. You're going to feel even smaller. You're going to feel like so unworthy, and it's going to be much harder to get out of an emotional spin if you don't have a whole lot of self-worth when you run into them. And self-worth comes from a lot of things, but one of the things it comes from is when you feel good about how you look, when you feel good about how you, well, I guess how you carry yourself. So if you're looking good that day, your self-esteem is just going to be a little bit higher. And you're going to need self-esteem when you run into your narcissistic ex. If your self-esteem is demolished and is so low and you're looking horrible and they run into you while you're looking horrible, you might feel even worse. But if your self-esteem comes from a lot of other places, and say you're doing really great at work, you're in a new and much more healthy relationship, you've moved on with your life, right? You're doing really great. You've found a new place. Excuse me. And you just came out of the gym and you're sweaty and you're nasty or whatever. Your hair is a mess and you didn't put on makeup yet, and you run into them. Well, you know what? If your self-esteem is already high, you'll be fine. You won't care that you look terrible when they walk by or when you run into them. You won't care. You'll be like, yeah, this is me and I'm proud to be me and I don't like to wear makeup, so I'm not putting on makeup. Or if you forgot to put on makeup, but you're okay with yourself without makeup, your self-esteem is good. It won't bother you if you run into them, even then. But for the most part, while we're still healing, we want to try to look good for ourselves. Honestly, it's for you. It's for you to feel good about you. So that was in response. So the dichotomy Crystal Jean was saying is that we want to look good, so that when they see us, they'll think, oh, I miss them. I want them back. Not that our goal is to want them to approach us. That's not our goal. Our goal is not to have them want us back actually either. Our goal is not even to have them try and contact us. Our goal is to feel good about ourselves. And that's the point of that. Let me see. I've got some people coming on here. Oh my gosh, Kathy, says that we may run into them at funerals and weddings. Absolutely. And in those times, let me tell you, if it's not you to be the life of the party, it's not your style to be boisterous and draw a lot of attention to yourself, then don't do it. Don't do it just for the narcissist's sake, right? You're not trying to prove anything to them. And by the way, they're not going to believe it anyway, because they know you. They know that you're not normally raucous and, a loud laugher maybe. I am a loud laugher, so that's my thing. But so just be yourself. If it's not you to be a loud laugher and draw a bunch of attention to yourself, don't do it, not even at a wedding. But enjoy yourself. Do the thing you normally would, hang out with the people you normally would. Enjoy the people who are around you and stay away from the narcissist if you can. But if they do walk up to you, if they do say hi, if you can muster a hello back to them, great. If you can't, it's okay to just turn around and walk away. You don't have to make a scene, just turn around and walk away. And to some people that might be a scene, and they may come up to you and say, hey, what was that about? How come you didn't even say hi to them? Just say, oh, it's a private thing. Please don't ask, but thank you, and that's fine. And they should hopefully respect your privacy. Now, people who don't respect your privacy and then run to the narcissist to see, well, what was that about? How come she didn't talk to you? Why didn't he talk to you? Oh my gosh, stay away from those people. What gossipers. They're just, you gotta just stay away. And if you know the person's a gossiper, you gotta behave as if everything is fine in front of them. And there's not a whole lot we can do with vile people like that. Okay, let me see. There's some comments here I want you guys to hear. Oh, your feed's cutting out on your end? Bad connection? Oh no, I hope that's not happening for the rest of you guys. Let me see if I don't want to affect anything here. Let me see if I can, my Wi-Fi is on, everything should be good. All right. Let me take a look at some. Oh, Oh, Kathy, your feed was going in and out last Thursday. I didn't know that. Okay. Oh, Rahel says, I moved 2,000 miles away. There's no way I'm running into him. And I did that on purpose. Absolutely. That's my thing too. My, recommendation is if you can get out of town, and I've thought about that at times too, is like just moving. Oh my gosh. So that I don't have to deal with certain people in my town. And I thought, you know what? If what my life here keeps me here, then I'm going to have to prepare then to run into this person. If I could leave, if I wanted to leave, then I will. And if you can leave, oh my gosh, and start over. And to me, that's kind of exciting actually, to start new, start over again. And, so many possibilities. I love the adventure of that actually. I think it's exciting. Oh, Rahel says her internet's not that great. That's why, her connection. Rahel says he discarded. I never said sorry for something I didn't do and chase him. I planned my escape for 2 months and packed up my whole life, had 2 garage sales, got a van and a trailer, and moved to the ocean. The ocean. I love the ocean. That's so awesome. And yeah, that's the thing. I understand what you mean by saying sorry for something you didn't do. You don't want to, come cowering back to the ex and apologize for whatever it is they're blaming you for, just so you can try to keep it going, try to keep it, working, so keep the relationship going. No, you don't want to do that. Hi, Kamar. Good to see you. And Superville, good to see you. Good morning. I'm glad you're here. Anne says he left and went back to his ex-wife for the 2nd time. No contact for 9 months. Saw him recently at a bar, got up and walked out when he walked in. Yes, yes. I'm telling you, Anne, you did the right thing. If your body is telling you, I was saying earlier in the feed here, the live stream, that if your heart starts pumping, you start to feel anxiety, anger starts welling up inside of you, you feel the heat coming up through your body. Your body's telling you this is not a good situation. Your body is preparing you for kind of a fight, right? It's a fight or flight situation. So the best thing you should do or can do is fly, get out. So choose flight. Don't choose to fight. Don't choose to stay. And a lot of times we don't even end up fighting with them. What ends up happening is we end up cowering. We end up feeling worse after an interaction with a narcissistic ex that we run into. And your body's trying to help you avoid that. Your body's telling you, get out of there. So, Anne, very proud of you. He walks in, you walk out. If you can do that, do that. And don't worry. Some people are like, oh, but then, that's so rude and I didn't want to be like that. But, if your body's telling you, get out, it's okay. Get out. You don't have to be rude about it and yell or, say anything mean as you're leaving or slam a door or anything like that. Just walk out. It's okay. Crystal says, exactly. I make sure that I look good when I go out, just in case. And for myself, of course. I'm not even close to dating, but getting looks from men doesn't hurt my self-esteem either. LOL. Yes, right? Looking good, feeling good, working on yourself physically is for you. It's not for your ex. But here's the deal. If you are still hung up on your ex and you still are just, wanting them back, if you need to use that as motivation to get off your couch, use it as motivation to get off your couch. And once you start feeling good, you start realizing like, wait a minute, I'm way out of this guy's league or way out of this woman's league. I'm looking my best that I've ever looked. And now they don't deserve me. Before you realize it, your self-esteem starts getting high enough where you start to realize your worth. And that's when you realize even though you may have started off working out and eating healthy and getting enough sleep and eating, doing the right things for yourself, getting involved in social groups or reading, going back to school, you're just improving yourself. You get to the point where you realize, oh my gosh, I really like myself. And you start to attract the kind of people that are attracted to the things that you're now doing. and you're going to be attracted to people who are now at that stage in their life. You're going to up your game. That's the thing, really. You're going to improve your entire life, your whole social circle. Everything starts to improve when you start to improve yourself. Kamar says, I hope I never run into my narc. Oh my gosh, Kamar, yes. I agree with you. That's how I feel as well. There are times I dread it. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do if that ever happens? And I'll give you guys, you know what? I ran into a couple of exes recently, ex-friends and but I'll tell you what, one of them I was not ready to talk to. And so I didn't. I avoided that person. I was not ready to engage with them. I was not ready to even wave hello. I was not ready to even look at them. Oh my gosh. My body was trembling. So I made my way as far away from that person as I could. I stayed to a different corner of the place so that, and I kind of got this feeling, there were times that I had to look around the room to make sure where they were so that I could stay away. And I don't know if I caught a glimpse of them. There were a lot of people there. It was a huge gathering. And I'm not sure that I caught a glimpse of that person. It might have been somebody else who kind of sort of looked like them, shape-wise or whatever, because I was pretty far away. So I kind of thought, okay, if that's them, I'm going to stay to this corner. I'm going to stay way over here. But I also kind of felt like this person kept looking towards my corner of the place. And I never tried to make eye contact. I just turned my back just in case they were trying to look. At that moment, what my body was telling me. My body was telling me, you are not ready emotionally to interact with this person. You're going to be drawn back in. Your feelings for this person is going to start up again, or I'm going to feel like I'm going to feel unworthy. I'm going to feel like, rejected. I'm going to feel whatever. Like, no, I don't need to feel those things. I don't need to be receiving any of that from this person. So I just stayed with my back turned to their side of the place. And not just that, I actually at times was able to go into another area of the facility that's off limits to other people. So, hung out there for a while until I thought the crowds died down and this person left. And then I came out and it was fine. The people who were left were people I knew. Some of them I didn't, but it was good. It all worked out. And I had a much more pleasant night than I think I would have if I had to engage with that person. So that was one of my recent run-ins. Anne says she felt good walking out, felt like he did not even deserve to be in my presence. Yes. Anne's the one where her ex walked into a bar that she was at, and when he walked in, she left. And yeah, you know what? Preserve your self-esteem. Preserve yourself. You don't need to fall back under their spell of either abuse or drawn into their charm. Both would be terrible. Both would be horrible and devastating for us. Kathy says, when I mow my lawn, he has property next door. He suddenly needs to mow too. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I guess that's a different situation than most of us have, right? Although I've had a couple of other viewers who've commented and told me that their ex moved into their neighborhood and even into their building. So they have to also deal with running into their ex semi-regularly, right? Another one said that their ex kind of watches them through their window when they walk back past, So yeah, sometimes you cannot avoid it. Sometimes your ex is going to show up regularly. And actually, maybe for you, you can tell us how to prepare yourself emotionally for that. Because I'm thinking the more you practice running into them, actually, or the more it happens, the more practice you tend to get, right? So the better you get at it. That would be my guess, Kathy, that you're getting better at it and you're like, okay, whatever. You learn to just kind of accept it as, it's just kind of part of your week and you just ignore it. I bet that's probably what happens. Rahel, mine went back to his low self-esteem ex too, after 6 years of calling her crazy to me, saying she was the cheater. Now he is back with her. He called her their egg donor and every name in the book. I know. And they have no idea. This is the sad thing, is the person with really low esteem will take them back. Unfortunately, she has not been, I would assume, watching these websites or YouTube sites. She has not been preparing herself to extricate herself from abuse, from further abuse. And she fell for his charm. She fell for his excuses why he left. She fell for his apologies, right? I heard from a narcissist I knew, the way this person talked about their exes, not just their exes, they talked about the people they were currently dating. Just so malicious, so awful. And I thought, if the person they are currently, and not just dating, you know what I mean, like they were sleeping with this person, they were, the booty calls, all of it, you know, and here they are degrading this person, talking about how this person barely has 2 brain cells to rub together. And another one they were dating barely, you know, this narcissist talked about that person's body and how her body turned him off. And I was just like, well, why then? I mean, she wasn't like an ugly, whatever, out of shape or whatever person, but she had other things going on with her body, you know, that only someone intimate with her would know. And yeah, he was just, and I'm like, well, then why the heck are you sleeping with her? I don't get it. You know, narcissists don't care. You know, they'll overlook the ugly, nasty stuff that they think is ugly and nasty, and they'll put that person down, and then they will still give in, of course, to their desires and temptations. They can't be alone, and they need to be sexually satisfied, and so they don't care. They'll do, yeah. So, yep. I don't want to go back. I don't want to talk too much about that. So, you guys, let me see. There's some more comments here I want you guys to catch up on. Anne says, was looking good, and I am sure he noticed. Still have struggling days, but I am never going back. Good for you, Anne. Exactly. See, when you're looking good, you feel good, you walk out, you're the one in control. You hold on to your self-esteem, you hold on to your self-worth, you are strong in who you are. And that's why I really encourage you to, you know, work out or do something to improve yourself, whether it's mentally or physically. Start eating better. You're going to feel better about yourself, so that when you do run into them, oh heck, you'll be fine. Kathy says, Rahel, I've been here 35 years. And then he's there next door to you mowing his lawn, huh? Yeah, so moving, you may not want to move. And just for their sake, heck no. Just move on with your life. And that can happen. I have a friend who is divorced, you know, from her ex. I don't know that her ex is a narcissist, but a lot of times, even just divorce from a normal relationship, it's very hard to run into them at your children's gatherings, right? Graduations and weddings and funerals and celebrations, birthdays and holidays. Well, she runs into her ex for all of those things. And it's been a lot of years, though, now since they've been divorced. And she says it's almost like they don't, you know, even though they had been married, even though they had been intimate, of course, right, in their marriage, even though they had grown together for, you know, I think it was at least a decade they were together. And now when she sees him, it's almost like that life never happened. You know, she has no emotional tie to him whatsoever. And she pretty much just sees him like any other person she sees, any stranger, any acquaintance, because that's kind of what it is, like an acquaintanceship, even though they share children together, right? And she says no emotion. She doesn't feel worse about herself. She doesn't feel anything when she's around him. And if anything, she sees him a lot clearer than she's ever seen him before. She sees exactly who she is, and she knows she didn't miss out. You know, she's like, no, he really just wasn't for me. We were not a good match. And I'm okay with that. You know, she's moved on with her life. And Anyway, that can happen for all of us, you guys. I just wanted to share that story with you. Crystal Jean says, Kathy, I could not live next door to mine. I couldn't breathe. But part of that, again, you guys, is, if we're not, after a while, I mean, I'm sure at first it was like impossibly hard. But after a while, running into them, if you're running into them pretty regularly, I think it probably just becomes like what my friend has done. It has happened for her, where it's like at some point you're going to feel like, oh, they're just another person, and I'm okay with that. So, and that point comes when you're able to move on with your life and you're feeling good about where you are and you're excited about your future, which is where she is right now. She's very excited about her future. She's got so many good things coming her way. She's gotten her career path on the right track, She's just got a lot of hope and a lot of good people now flowing into her life. So I want you guys to know there's that hope. You guys, there are more comments here I want to read to you guys. Anne says, I went back once before, but did not know what I was dealing with. Would have left permanently then if you had known. Yeah. And that's why I'm saying it's really important if you run into your narcissistic ex and your body is telling you, get out, get out, get out, then get out. It's okay. You don't have to stay. Even if it was a dinner party you were invited to and they were invited to, just make up some excuse and leave. Thank the host and say, oh, I forgot this. I had to do, I'm so sorry. Let me make this up to you. Or thank you so much for inviting me. Or, if you can stay for a few minutes and you feel okay staying for a few minutes just to wrap up a couple of things with the host, do that. And then when you feel like, okay, I've stayed half an hour, that's good enough, leave. Yeah. But don't, if your body is telling you, your body's essentially telling you you're in danger. And it may not be physical danger, it may be emotional danger. So you just want to listen to that. You don't want to go backwards. And this is what I've heard too, is people who run into their narcissistic ex. They've been doing great. They're doing really well in their life. They've been watching these videos. They've been getting involved in support groups. They've been to therapy. They've been working on themselves. And then they run into their ex. And suddenly they're back at square one. They're back feeling like, oh, it's horrible. And I feel lousy about myself. I feel rejected. I feel like, I'm ugly and I'm a mess and nobody would want me. And they get thrown right back into that. But the good news is I think they only stay there for a moment. I don't think you may even stay there for maybe a week, maybe a few days. But you got to snap yourself out of it. That right there tells you you're not ready. You're not ready to interact with this ex. So, as much as you can, limit it. As much as you can, avoid it. If you see them coming down the street, heck, it's okay. Walk to the other side of the street or duck into a store, the heck with it. If you don't have to interact and your body is telling you don't interact, your heart is racing, anxiety is rising you, anger is starting to come, through your eyeballs, get out of there. You're not ready. And there's no need. There's no need to throw yourself into that. Let me see. Kamar says, after I was discarded, my narc told me I'm dead to her. LOL. I'd rather stay dead. Yeah. You know what? By the way, that is better. I know it doesn't feel like a blessing at the time, but it is. It's a blessing if your narcissist stays away from you. And they just do whatever they do and they ruin their life. And even if it looks like, oh, they've moved on, they've gotten married, they're having children, they bought a house, whatever. You have to actually not be looking to even know all of that. If you know all of that, you're looking. So I'm calling you on it. Don't look. Okay, you guys? Sometimes it's possible you may know that because of mutual friends telling you, okay, and uninvited. You didn't even want to know. You weren't even talking about this person, but they brought it up. Just change the subject, talk about something else or walk out of the room, if you're not the only person they're talking to. Just, okay, I got to go over here. Just don't try to hear as much as you can about your ex. You want to hear as little as possible about your ex because you don't want to know what they're doing because your mind is going to play a trick on you. Your mind is going to convince you because you're already on this track that I got discarded, I'm worthless, I'm not worthy, nobody wants me. You're already thinking along those tracks. So you're going to convince yourself that they're doing much better without you. They did you. You were the problem. Don't entertain that, and don't let your mind play those tricks on you. And that's why you don't want to look. So you guys, let me see. Gamer Christina said, I did just for a second. Let me see. You did what? Oh, stay for just a second, maybe. Yeah, and Rahel says to Kamar, she's lying, Kamar, anything to hurt you. Yeah, if they say you're dead to them, you know what? It is a lie, and they are trying to hurt you their way out. You just gotta let that go. But here's the deal. Accept it too. Like, okay, you know what? That's fine. You have to sever that tie. And if that's what it takes to sever the tie, then believe that. Believe that, we don't know each other anymore. I can't act like I know you, even if I run into you at the park or on the street or at a store or at a bar. I can't act like I know you. So, Crystal says, and they do that. They recycle supply. Yeah, they do. Oh, that's the thing, when they go back to their ex-spouse. Yeah, I think it's because, they have history. They have had a commitment once. They have more of a connection, and that's why it's actually not a blessing to marry a narcissist, because now your connection is even stronger to them. And there's familiarity, that very strong familiarity because of the marriage. So they'll forget everything that they've ever done to you and just go back as if like, oh, it was nothing and it was just a blip and we're okay now, right? We can just continue on from here. If you haven't seen my video on can you have a relationship with a narcissist, that's where I talk about the thing you have to do is when you have a relationship with a narcissist is forget everything they've ever done the day before. You have to, like, every day is a new day with them because they're going to hurt you. They're going to abuse you. They're going to diminish you. They're going to discard you. They're going to cheat on you, lie on you. They're going to lie about you. They're going to smear you. They do this, but in order to have a relationship with them, and I feel really bad for the spouses or the exes that take them back, because those exes have to do that. They have to act as if every day what this narcissist did to me yesterday didn't happen. They have to forget it, like, immediately, which is insanity, because then you're not building a relationship. You're just living in this ridiculous, crazy cycle of abuse that continues to happen until the day you die. And oh my gosh, that's why marriage with a narcissist is a horror show. To me, it's a horror show. Some people, I don't know why they stay, but they stay. Kathy says, I had a dream I was going to move and I was good with it. So maybe. Yeah, Kathy. And if you do, let us know about your adventures. I think that's, to me, I'm kind of excited. I think in the next few years, we might be moving as well. Not that I'm saying I'm in a hurry, but part of me is sort of looking forward to it because, sometimes when you stay in a place too long, like you did, Kathy, 35 years, that's a long time. You forget, like, what else is out there. You forget about the adventure of life that's out there still. I mean, there's adventure if you stay as well, and there's that, and I agree. There are benefits to that, okay? But there's something exciting about moving as well. Gamer Christina says, you are amazing. I love your words. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. I think you're talking to me, so that's true. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anne says, yes, they are. He heard I was in town. Guess he wanted to see for himself. Whoa. Yep, he did. You're right. He was scoping you out. Good for you that you walked out. Rahel says, I moved my whole life. It's great. I make my life. Nothing keeps me anywhere. I go with the wind. Aw, man, I love that. I love that. I love it. I love it. But you know what? I love also setting down roots where you are, building relationships where you are and getting to know the town. It's really, especially when you're new, you're getting to know all the nuances. You're getting to find out all the best little nooks and crannies in the town, the best places that the locals hang out at. It's so cool. And for me, I'm an outdoors person. The best places to hang out outdoors, the best places to kayak, the best places to swim, best places to hike, oh my, places to climb. I love that. So to me, finding new places, being in a new place, it's so exciting. But I'm also still finding places here where I live, new places to do those things. So that's fun for me too. Anne says, did not know about recycling, just finding out. Oh, yes, Anne, beware of that. Some people have commented, let me think, what were they saying? About getting hoovered. They don't expect to get hoovered at all. They're like, they're not going to hoover me. I know they're not going to hoover me. And I'm like, okay, that's great. I'm glad you know that. I'm glad you feel that way. But be prepared in case they do try. And it might be a couple of years before they try. It might even be 10 years down the road. They're going to be like, hey, my life is a disaster. My last relationship just crashed and burned. So let me go through my old black book and see if any of these people are willing to take me back. And they may try to hoover you back in, just to let you know. Rahel says, hoover attempt, Anne. True. Yep. Let me see. Oh, Kathy says, oh, Rahel, I wish I could. I am caregiver for my elderly father and handicapped brother. Oh, I see. That will keep you where you are, Kathy. I can understand. Some friends of ours recently lost a family member who they were caregivers for, and they're looking back at their life. They love this person, the person they cared for and everything. But it's true, when you're a caregiver, you sacrifice a lot. You do it willingly at the time, which is great. It really is. It's such an honorable thing that you're doing, Kathy, that you're giving such love and attention to your brother and to your elderly father. And when that time comes where you don't have to do that anymore, you'll be glad that you did, and then you'll be surprised at how much more life there is still to live, which is, I think, what my friends are coming to find is like, wow, we have the next rest of our life to do what we want. And though they miss their relative, they are also looking forward to this new life that they have. So it's all good. Live your life in a way where when you look back, you don't regret the sacrifices you made. You're glad. You made them. You know that other people probably didn't make these sacrifices. That's their loss because you got to build something that they never did. Rahel says, I feel the heat in my heart and heat flashes and anxiety just thinking he will come here. And the further I drove, the more relaxed I became. Yes, I have felt the same way. That's why I know, a person's body reacts to, even when you start thinking about it, like the possibility of running into your ex. If you're just thinking about it, imagining it, and your body is reacting adversely to it, you're not ready. Don't, you have to prepare yourself better emotionally. But you know what? Also, you might surprise yourself. Like Kathy, I think, the more she runs into her narcissistic ex, the fact that he's still there, then the more she's able to kind of separate. Like one of my friends I was saying who is divorced, and she runs into her ex quite regularly, quite often throughout the year because of family things, gatherings, and she's fine with it. It's just sort of like, oh, well, this is just another person, another relative, another acquaintance, Kathy, I'm sorry. Rahel says, Crystal, man, now he is back with her. Gee, sorry, man. He went back and forth, back and forth. Wow. Yeah. When they go back to their spouse, it's hard. It's hard to imagine that you're not the problem, but you're not the problem. I'm here to tell you that. Okay. I want to tell you. Oh, but you know what, you guys? This is a truth I do want to put in here. I'm missing so many comments, you guys. Oh my gosh, you're going on. But I want to challenge you guys to something. If you're ready, okay, look at the truth about yourself. All right? You have to, at some point, look at who you were in that relationship and what you did in that relationship and take responsibility for your part. If you gave in to their smearing of other people, if you gave in to their bad behavior and accepted their bad behavior, not just towards you, but towards others, admit it to yourself. Like, oh, I joined into that, and I joined in with that when they were behaving so badly. Admit it and go, I was completely deceived. And you were deceived to do that. But you can own it. You can say, all right, I did it. I was deceived. I'm not going to let that happen again. I'm not going to let another person ever come into my life who I think is so wonderful that I would be willing to do bad things with them. You maybe start doing drugs with them, maybe lying and cheating other people to other, lying to other people, cheating on other people, stealing from them. You may have done that with your ex because they're like, hey, what's the big deal? They deserve whatever it is that they deceived you into thinking it was okay. Yeah, that's not you. You did it. Now you got to repent of it. You got to turn from it and say, I'm not going to do that again. And I'm never going to let another person convince me to do these things. But, if you've been with a narcissist, you know that they have you lower your standard. They get you to do things that you would never do with other people. They get you to lower your standard and allow them to do to you what you would never accept other people doing to you. So take a look at yourself. Be truthful with yourself. And then forgive yourself. If you hurt another person while you were with your ex because they were being a jerk to that other person and you agreed or you approved of it or whatever it was, forgive yourself. Apologize to that person if you can. If they know that you did get yourself involved in it, and if they don't know that you were part of it, just, apologize in your mind. Like, I feel so bad. I apologize for what I did here, and I will, never do that again. You can do that and forgive yourself. Kathy says, Rahel says, Kathy, we are called to turn from people like this. We are called to not eat or spend time or even talk to these evil people. Yeah. Oh, Rahel says, I guess she moved with 3 boys and 3 dogs. Oh, Kathy, I'm so glad you're thinking about, possibly, because of Rahel, possibly moving. Yeah. Okay, you guys, let me go back and look at some of these other comments that I am missing. Oh, yeah. Crystal says, oh, yeah. She left him and she heard that he was with another female cop. It's about 17 years ago. Ooh, yeah. Kamar says, I lost everything I worked so hard for. In process of getting it back. Thank God it's looking good. But one thing I didn't lose was my self-esteem and trust. Trust me, I tried, but I wasn't able to give that up. Good. That's awesome, Kamar. I'm glad you didn't lose your self-esteem. And somebody was talking to me about this, where men generally kind of recover faster. I'm not absolutely certain of that, but that was their perspective, right? As a woman, they just kind of thought that men don't put up with as much crap as women would. And I don't know, from my experiences with my viewers here, it seems like some of the men have put up with a lot, and for years, for a couple of decades. So I'm not sure that that's true, that men don't put up with as much. But it seems like men possibly may have better self-esteem, but some, I don't think all men do. I think some men come out of these relationships quite crushed, and it's very hard for them to get their self-esteem back. So Kamar, good. I'm so glad. I'm so proud of you for doing that and for holding on to your self-esteem. And I'm glad that your life is getting back on track. I'm glad that you're beginning to get back the things that you've lost. There's so much good in this life. And you guys, you know what? Don't let your losses define your life. Some people will. They hang on to the losses of their life, and they reflect on it. They ponder it. They think about all the things they've lost in life instead of trying to build life. They're stuck. They get stuck in thinking about all the things they lost, and I don't want to say victim mentality, but it sort of is. They just get stuck there and they feel like if only that didn't happen, then I would be okay. If only I didn't lose this, if only that person didn't take that from me, I would be okay. And let me tell you, I was talking to somebody recently, and it has been, I want to say, over 20 years for this person. And this person is still looking back 20 years and saying, if only that didn't happen, my life would be okay now. And I'm like, you gave up 20 years of your life on that one loss. You could have been building your life since then. But this person hasn't been. They are still, I want to say, this person would be homeless if it wasn't for family members. And that's no way to live. It's not living, right? It's dying. It's just every day dying. And I don't want that for you guys. All right, you guys, there are some conversations going on here on the side, so I'll let you continue to have that. But we are at about 1 hour, so I'm going to let you guys finish up your conversations. Anne says, we were not aware of these toxic people, so now we know we should not go back. Never, ever. That's right, never. Rahel says, cop perverts, but he was sexy. Yeah, let me tell you what. I've known some really sexy narcissists. Oh my gosh, I have known some very sexy narcissists. I'm talking about men, but also women, right? Not that I'm attracted to women, but yeah, I can see how it's really hard to resist them. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that at that. But it's like, oh, if you guys saw one of my other Happy Crappy Hours, I think it was for Valentine's Day, we talk about The Shining. Very sexy, but it's not what you really think it is. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, you guys. Let me see if there's a comment here I want to share before we leave. Anne says, yes, she is really conditioned. They have been together for about 40 years. He renewed his vows with her. Wow, they've been together for 40 years. She did not know that their divorce was almost final when he was with me. Wow. Yeah, you know what? I'm telling you, those long-lasting marriages are not a badge of honor. Not to me, not anymore. I used to think, oh, they've been together 50 years. But then I look at their relationship and I'm like, okay, they're not actually, you know what? You can be sexually active into your 80s and I don't know, possibly beyond that. But, we kind of think, oh, well, sex is kind of over at 60 or something. Oh, no. I know people in their 60s and 70s. Oh, my gosh, they're having a really good time. And because they're in a very healthy relationship. But with a narcissist, let me tell you, that's not going to happen. It's not a healthy relationship. You're going to settle for, okay, we just kind of sit here next to each other and put up with each other, and that's about it. We're not alone, right? Hey, yay, we're not alone. And it's not a marriage that I would hope for anybody. Like, what? That's not me. That's all I can say about that. Oh, Kat, oh my, you guys have some really interesting things you're saying here. Measure twice, hello from Houston. Oh, wow, this is a while ago. Sorry, you guys, I'm very far back on comments. So good to see you here, Measure Twice. Anyone who believes this narc must be on the low functioning level of intelligence. Not necessarily, okay? Because, okay, maybe the narc you're talking about. But there are narcissists out there. They catch you at your most vulnerable. And the crazy thing is, once you get out, you look back and you're like, why did I not see this person for who they were? You're just very shocked at yourself for what you fell for. Somehow we get, maybe it's because they know the right thing to say to us. Maybe it's because of the way, how much attention they give us, that makes us want to believe that what they're doing is real. Anyway, and then we end up falling for it, right? Okay, you guys. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we're talking about sex here and where narcissists will go for it. Yeah, it's true. They will. And their wives don't even know. Their wives don't even know. Their wives will be like, well, or their wives might even know they're going to strip clubs or, doing stuff like that. But their wives don't know what they're doing at the strip clubs. I mean, first of all, they're at the strip club. They're leering at somebody else besides you. And the wife might think, well, they're not cheating on me. Like, yeah, because the opportunity hasn't presented itself yet. But the moment one of those strippers is ready to have a fun time with them, it's not a good situation. It really isn't. And there are many people out there who are willing to stay deceived in order to keep their marriage going. Yeah. And so that's why I say this longevity thing. Oh, been together 30 years. Yeah, well, how's the sex? How's the relationship? How's the intimacy with them? Are you fulfilled when you're with them? Are they the person that you want to be with all the time? And I want to talk about healthy relationships. Oh, you guys, we are beyond an hour here, but that will be another happy crappy hour. I want to talk about healthy relationships and what they look like, because let me tell you, when you're in a healthy relationship, you are so blessed. I am so excited to see my husband every day. I mean, it's insane. We have had our moments and we've had really rough times. There were times, months, I guess, in our marriage where things were really rough and not abusive, though. I want to tell you that. It was rough because of emotional scars, things that had happened prior to us getting together, right? Things that we were healing from still, people we were still becoming, and we had some really rough times. But when you get over those rough times because you still care about each other, here's the difference. Here's the difference between being in a marriage with a narcissist and being in a marriage with someone who loves you. The person who loves you, that's it. They don't want to hurt you. It's not, they don't cheat on you. They don't lie to you. They actually want the best for you. And even in the moments where you think, the two of you think this marriage might not be working out, you actually still want the best for the other person. You actually still want the other person to do well. You're not fighting like, well, this part is mine and this half is mine and you're looking to destroy the other person financially. That doesn't happen. So you know that the marriage is worth working through when you both are still like, but I want the best for the other person. You feel like you're, I may go into it at some point. I have to ask my husband what things we can talk about here, because I don't want to go, against him and share things that he doesn't want me to share. So anyway, you guys, I want you to know that there are beautiful relationships out there. There are beautiful people out there. There are people with the same heart that you have out there. And there are people who will love you the way that you will love them, where you want the best for them. And that's my best advice, actually, for relationships is want the best for the person you're with, and if they're not willing to be that way towards you, then it's very sad that they don't want the best for you. Then this is not a relationship that you should want for yourself. So you guys, I'm letting you wrap up. I'm going to give you another 1 minute and I'm going to go through all of your comments. Boy, you guys have had really awesome comments. You guys, today, if you run into your ex, what do? It's okay to leave. It's okay to walk away. It's okay if your body is telling you you're not ready to interact with them. then don't interact with them. All right, you guys? But if you can, if you are ready, and if you have to, and they're like right in front of you, right in front of you. And this has happened to me and an ex-friend, ex-narcissist friend of mine that I've run into. I was able to, emotionally, I was fine. I was okay with interacting, asking how they're doing, and we kept it brief, and I moved on. I didn't feel like, oh, I was looking forward to running into this person, but when we did run into each other, it was okay. And the more that happens, and if you do end up in those situations, the more you do the right thing. Don't make a scene, don't behave badly, don't throw a tantrum, don't spit and yell and scream or whatever, right? Don't get into a fight. If you don't do that, you get stronger. You absolutely get stronger, and you're going to build yourself up to the point where you can run into all of your exes, all, ex-friends, ex-spouse. You can even run into your family members that you've stayed far away from, and things will be fine. You're not going to become that 10-year-old child again. You're not going to become that abused partner again. You're not going to become whatever you were to the narcissist. Yeah, the punching bag. You just are so strong that you'll be just fine. So you guys, I'm going to wrap it up. God bless all of you. I'm so glad that you're here. And please subscribe. And I should have asked this earlier. And get your friends to subscribe. If you think that people, need to hear what I'm saying, and I have some friends that's so funny. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to share this with my friends. I thank you so much, because we all know somebody who's going through a relationship that looks like a narcissistic, abusive relationship, and we want to wake them up and just to get them to go, at least wonder, like question a couple of things. If you find that my channel is helpful for that, please ask them or share videos with them or whichever you think is appropriate, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Blessings to you guys. I pray for you every day, and some of you by name, the ones who comment, and I know you're pray for you by name. And I hope that you will have a beautiful day and a wonderful week. So I will talk to you later, you guys. Oh, my husband wants me to tell you, last second, visit my website if you haven't yet. He's doing all kinds of different things with it. You can subscribe to podcasts. You can look there. I recommend certain books that I think are really helpful, that have helped me through my journey and may help you. If you buy through my website, then Amazon gives me a little bit of a referral fee, I guess. But you pay the exact same price if you just went to Amazon by yourself. So that would be great. And yeah, and if you guys want to visit the website, that's great. Okay, blessings to you. Have a great day.